Hello everybody, how's it going? I hope you're all doing well. I am back at my regular video spot. I wanted to do a video kind of based off of the same thing that I did last video, which was responding to a video that I saw on Facebook. And I'm really trying to not sync up with these, but then I'll see one that I'm like, what the heck is he talking about? Or this is an obvious projection or something of that sort. And I don't want you guys to think that I just try to gang up on the Christian community, because the spiritual community is another thing, another vehicle in the 4D where you start asking questions and start trying to figure things out, which is good, but it's not something that you should carry or can carry. You can't even carry it into the 5D, because the 5D dispels all of that. And not in a way where something's false, but it falls by the wayside because you don't need it anymore. You have reached another level of enlightenment to where those questions have been answered, or you've satisfied a certain level of truth for yourself to where you no longer feel a need to ask those same questions or pay attention to the same things that got you to a different density. And when I say 4D, 3D, 5D, I'm talking about densities. I'm not talking about dimensions. That would come later. I don't think we're quite ready for that yet, although different dimensions do exist, in my opinion. But if you're here, you're resonating with me, I'm being authentically myself, which resonates with you being authentically yourself. I'm so happy for reaching the 300 subscribers. Thank you guys. Welcome to the new people. 300 is amazing to me. I remember when I was just at like 7 and 10 and 19, and I'm sure some of the haters, because there's still some stragglers, they're gonna go and unsubscribe just to bring me down below 300, but it doesn't matter, because the more that I keep on it, the more people that don't know me, that are outside of the realm of the things that I have gone through, outside of my community, outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and outside of any group or community that might be outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee, that is in connection with people that are here and what they've heard and what they've been told and all that stuff. So it doesn't matter. The more that unsubscribe, that are haters, the better, because new people will find their way in. They always do. So as soon as I lose 3 or 4, I'll gain 5 or 6. So that doesn't matter to me. I am just so grateful to be at this point on my YouTube journey and to be offering advice and experience of mine to other people that might help them or comfort them, inspire them to tell their own story. Even if you haven't been through anything like me, doesn't have to be similar. I often in my past would be like, why does this, this was the me that was not on my spiritual awakening journey yet at all, but it was close. I was like, why does this person or that person, this family or that family have it so easy that they just, they grow up loved, they, go to a good school, they have great friends, they get married and, they find true love and they have kids and, this picket fence, American dream, or, the dream life of anyone who doesn't have it is like, why is my life so hard? Why has my journey been so difficult? And for one, what you see about their life is often not reality. They show you what they want you to see, or you see the things that are on the surface, whether they're putting it out there or not. What you're observing is on the surface, and there's other things, and then their lessons may come later in life if everything is as it seems. They may have a cheating spouse, they may have, someone close to them that passes away. Like, everybody's on their own individual path. Don't compare yours to anyone else. Everything is not always as it seems. Lean not on your own understanding. God is always working, and most of the time in mysterious ways. He's not going to tell you everything that you need to know all up front. A lot of the times, you being fearless counts on you not knowing what's going on. Because often, if you were actually aware of who and what and where and all of the little details, then you wouldn't, like on my spiritual journey, if I knew all the things that were going to be taken away, or the things that I had to willingly learn to give up and detach from, I wouldn't have done it. So you're not going to be fearless. You're not going to keep, marching straight into the battle if you know exactly what the battle consists of. So he's only going to tell you the things that you need to know when you need to know them. So the same about other people. Don't compare yourself to them. It's their path, not yours. But at the same time, it's not always what it seems. So while you might turn into an envious person or hate on someone for having something that you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know what's yet to come in their life. You don't know. And they also might have had, a family that led them to God early on, that didn't discourage them from learning about spiritual things, and that we're never alone, and that we never die, and about karma, and how you shouldn't do people this way or that way because it will come back to you. Like, not everybody is raised like you, and they may have been raised by someone way more enlightened than the people that raised you. A lot of times we do things because we were taught to do them. If you were raised in a family where people stole, they shoplifted, they cheated the system, they got their come up off of ill-begotten means, and they taught you that's the way that you thought that you needed to do it too. So you resisted the path of God, or leaning on a power source or something outside of yourself to release everything to give everything up to go with the flow of the divine plan and the divine timing. If you saw someone else doing it and they got things, they may have gotten in trouble for them. It may have stopped working for them at some point. They may have been covered by someone else's light, which often I feel has happened in my family. But if they were taught something else and then they saw that someone, they saw that someone got what they needed by doing those things to other people, or by stealing or whatever, then they were like, well, what's wrong with that? Maybe I'll do it too. And it took them a long time before their karma caught up to them, before they realized that what they were taught wasn't the way to go at all. And that everything crumbles eventually when it's not built on that sturdy foundation. So then they have to build a new foundation and learn how to do it in a healthy way. And yeah, never compare yourself to others. I learned a long time ago when I first started this, not long after I said it out loud, I immediately learned that I'm not going to compare myself to anyone else, and I wouldn't trade my journey for the world, even if it has been hard. As soon as you shift your perspective and you start looking at how everything was a blessing, nothing was bad, nothing was good, everything was a blessing. It taught me something. I got something healthy from it. I got something gifted to me that was because I did have a firm foundation with God, a healthy way of obtaining those things, and not this quick come up from selling my soul to the devil, basically. So, and just to touch back on the karma, when you are around someone that is high vibrational, that lives in the light and has started to walk on their path and in their purpose, just being sent to love and light by that person, or being in their vicinity, protects you to a certain extent. Not always, but when you walk away from the construct that you are never meant to be in anyway, that was there to teach you a lesson that you needed to break away from, walk away from, often those that are still in the shadow, that are still in the ego, that are doing things for quick come-ups, those people will start getting their karma when you walk away, when you completely detach. And I don't mean just move to another state, or, you stop answering their phone calls. You completely stop sending them love and light. You love them from afar, but you are not actively participating in any part of their life at all. At all. Which is very hard to do, and it takes a long time, but as soon as you do it, you will start to notice that those people will get their karma, much like narcissists feeding off of you as a power source when they no longer have that power source, like gone, finito, done, no more, like not even by in passing or through a third party, they can't replace you like they thought that they could. There is nobody out there like you. They can't get you back. They can't replace you. They're not getting, they will start to look old. They will start to get their karma. Um, Notice how Diddy looks now that he doesn't have the supply source of anyone that he can feed off of. There's no one catering to building him up, to keeping that facade in place. He looks old, and I don't just mean his gray hair. He looks old. And very quickly, he's only been in jail since what, November? Very quickly, this started to happen. And I even had a friend, a former friend of mine, tell me that my ex had started looking old, and I haven't seen them in a while now. And I didn't even agree when they said it. I was just like, okay, that's an observation of theirs. I wasn't even really looking at them in that way at the time. Like, I wasn't thinking about the physical or anything about that person. But when they said it to me, I was like, well, that's an interesting thing. And the more that I thought about it after the fact, I was like, you know what? They were looking kind of old. And I don't even know what they look like now, but it's probably even worse because they don't have anything to feed off of. So, like my children, I'm detached from them. However, I do still send them love and light. So I very much know that they are protected. I know it in my heart. I know it in my soul. It resonates in every bone of my body that they are safe and protected and that God is looking out for them. And I pray for them every day, and I pray for them to go within and to talk to God about everything that they need, because He's all that they need. No matter what is going on around them, if they stay with that as their base, as their foundation with God, that they go to God for everything, no matter what is happening around them, that is the peace. That is the solace. That is the eye of the storm. That is them being immovable, unfuckwithable. That no matter what happens, God has been invited into their life, and they have given up everything to Him. Hopefully they will. If not, hopefully they see this and they start. But that He will take care of everything that they need. Oh, my nose is running. I just need so. Yeah, just to touch on that a little bit. But the guy that I was making the video about, he did redeem himself in a contradicting video last time, but this one, there was no video that came after it that was a contradiction or redemption in any way from the message. Not redemption as far as in the eyes of God, but the message that he put out. He didn't, circle back and kind of, throw out some tidbits of wisdom in the end that kind of saved him from crushing and burning in the video, because it was very much a projection. He said in the video that trees do not grow horizontally, that they grow vertically, so that we as people shouldn't in turn try to help others and give out wisdom or try to inspire or do anything basically to help others, that we should, like trees, grow vertically and just go up ourselves with what we've been taught, with our path, what we've been instilled with along the way, our lessons, or anything. We shouldn't try to put that out there for others to learn from. We should just use it within ourselves to grow and go up on our own, and just let everybody do it on their own and in their own way. And that's fine if you want to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But that doesn't mean that you should condemn others for doing that either, because some trees do grow together. Some trees have vines that grow all on the other trees. And vines, I don't know if you know, in the South, we've swung on some vines here, especially being Southern kids that weren't allowed to come in until it was dark outside, or until we were called in for dinner. And even after that, sometimes you were sent back outside and you didn't come in until it was bath time or bedtime. So especially Gen Xers out there. But we swung on many vines, and vines are very strong, and they stretch out and they grow onto all other trees besides them, and they help others. But second of all, we are not trees. We are human beings We are souls in this body that God has given a life, a purpose. He's put us all through this, all of our lessons, all of our experiences for growth. He's given us gifts. He's given us many things in which not just to help ourselves with, but to help others. Now, you don't have to help others, but don't condemn others that choose to help others. And then he also put it out there that said, if you do it on any kind of platform, like if you're on social media or whatever, if you're putting any of that knowledge out there, then you are inadvertently being manipulative, because where you might not be trying to be manipulative, it is manipulative in the way that you might be gaining like a monetary support from this. So he was saying that you are manipulating others if you're helping them online, and then you get paid for that, because then you're really only doing it to get paid and not to help others. So, but like in my situation, which I didn't take that personally, I think it's a farce, because if you go back to me talking about lawn care professionals and how they're out there doing it to help others, that a lot of them cut corners or forgot why they started doing it in the first place and started taking a different route just to create content and keep their numbers up, and not actually be compassionate and try to help the community or people in need like they did, which roped everybody in. So it was kind of like a bait and switch. Like, I know that they meant it when they started it. I'm not saying that it was manipulative when they started, but that's the same as anybody that's trying to help others with anything out there, whether it be spirituality, whether it be life lessons, whether it be whatever the topic is that they're trying to help others with, whether it's doing their lawn, pressure washing, just examples from some of the channels that I watch. If you follow your path, if you're in your purpose and you are helping others, you are in service in any way, everything is going to come with that flow. You have given in to the flow. You have surrendered to God and what He has wanted you to do in this lifetime, in your purpose, which is to help others with whatever gifts that He has given you to help others with. We are not trees on purpose. And even trees help other trees. Not all trees grow vertically. I have seen lots of trees here in the South, being into hiking and camping. I've seen lots of trees grow horizontally, even, in a storm, or just because of other things that were in the way. They found a way to grow around that and continue to grow regardless of what direction they had to go in to grow, that they helped others or the other trees around them. Someone also made the point in the comments that the roots underground intertwine with other trees, and what's underground is just as important as what's above ground. So they shot that out of the water. I didn't feel the need to comment on any of that. I'm going to keep that precious energy and turn it into something good. I'm going to alchemize it. I'm going to take the bits and pieces and put forth anything that I think was good from that message, and pay it forward still. Give him props for what he didn't miss on, in my opinion, and in the things that I think that he did miss on, either projections or to hold people back from helping others. I don't know why anybody would want to do that, but it sounds like he was wanting to, or that he might be hating on others that are actually monetizing their channel by helping others. But in your flow, in your purpose, that's going to come, being a steward. It's gonna eventually, the money's gonna come. You don't have to pray for money when you're in your purpose and you're giving to others, however you choose to give to others with the gifts that God has given you. The money's gonna come. That's gonna be part of it. It's not gonna be something that you need to pray for in order to get to make you happy, or because you'll never be content with that. That's the ego. That would be the ego asking for that, and you're never gonna be content. What it's going to do is you're going to be the same person with that money. If you are not content without money, you're not going to be content with money. So being content is by being happy with what you have and making the best of everything that God has given you, like my air mattress that has holes in it, or my car that's busted up. Like, it's still getting me where I need to go, even though somebody did pop my gas lid open last night. I have a locked gas what is it, gas cap, because I've had my gas tampered with so many times. But anyway, I am thankful for what God has given me, regardless of what condition is in. Even when I had clothes that I had to get from thrift stores, I still was very thankful for that, because it's better than the 2 outfits that I had to start out with. I'm gonna make the most of it. If you look on my pictures, the meal that I made over the weekend, I don't have all these pots and pans, but I did the best with what I have and still came out with a wonderful meal that I would never have had at the campsite, or I never would have had in the hotels. That it's awesome. Like, it's like a 5-star meal to me. So is my air mattress. Like, so is my car. Like, it's just, it fills me up because that's what God has given me, and I'm content with it because that's what I have to work with. It's still working. There's nothing wrong with it. It still gives me a great night's sleep. It still gives me nourishment to my body. It still gives me transportation. I still have clothing and shelter. Like, I still have everything that I need. It might not be all of the things that I would, if I had more money, that I would buy, but once I'm in my purpose, once I'm doing what God wants me to do with the gifts and everything that He has supplied me with right now, and to help others to learn to appreciate those things, and how to put one foot in front of the other and still get what you need by surrendering to God and just going with the flow, without fear, without worry, without anxiety, finding ways to achieve that, and each and every moment to make the best and most of everything that you have is so important. And the money will come once you're helping others. Like, when people will tell you, when you give to charities, it will come back to you. It might not always come back to you in the way that you gave it, but you will be blessed. You will be doubly blessed by God in return for giving money, for giving service, for going out and providing a service to someone that needs it, for giving them clothes, shoes. It doesn't have to be money that you donate to them. That's why I say watch where you tithe, because it doesn't. You don't know where the money in the church is going, but when you give personally and you pray for discernment over where your gift or your service or whatever that you are providing to someone else that's in need goes to, you will know where it goes to, because you're giving it to them yourself, and you asked God before you ever decided to do anything in the first place. And that was sent to you from the divine. Your intuition, your discernment, your however He can talk to you to where you can hear Him, is how He's going to answer your prayers and let you know where you should give back to. What gift do I have that I can give to others, that I can enrich their lives, that I can help them to eliminate or alleviate suffering, so that they don't stay in those dark, depressed, lonely, hurt places any longer than they have to. Like, whatever I have that I can give, doesn't have to be money. God will show you if you ask Him where to give it and how to give it. And that's why I started my channel. I wanted to document everything that was happening to me, even before I knew anything was going to happen to me at the level that it happened to me. I started my channel based on narcissism, because I knew before things got really bad, and I didn't know how bad they were going to get. I knew that a lot of the things that I was going through when I was led to start my channel, they were based in narcissism. And I knew by other things that I was seeing, in which helped me be led to make the channel, that a bunch of other people were going through that too. So I knew that I had knowledge on things that got me to where I was at that point. I didn't know what else was going to happen to me or what else I needed, but that was another jump point that made me, after things got really bad, I stopped doing videos for a while. I needed to just be isolated with God. And after that, I was led back to my channel so that I could tell people even further how I went down my path, even give them more resources and inspiration. And even if they don't relate to what I'm going through, cheer them on, to let them know that yes, there was a time. There was a time where I didn't think that I could have made it through any of the things that I made it through, but I did. I did, and because of that, I know that they can too. So if nothing else, I can be a cheerleader to you. I can let you know that I never ever thought that I would be at the point I was in any of those videos, and the point I'm at now, that I would have made it through those things, that those things wouldn't have killed me and hurt me or made me regress and go back to things that were vices and band-aids, or do anything worse, like fight fire with fire and make things even worse for myself in reacting to the things that are happening to me, into turning into the things that they told everybody that I wasn't. That could have easily happened. I never thought that I would have studied them, that I would have kept my mouth shut, that I would have had the emotional maturity, that I would have just clung to God and my intuition, my discernment, and help Him rebuild me by being the pliable, for Him to mold me into what He wanted me to be, and to help me to be better every single day, to be a better Carrie every single day. That I surrendered to all of that, and I wanted to show people how. Because if I never saw myself being able to make it through anything like that, or to be able to gain traction and make my life better from where they had wanted me to be, I know that there's people out there that didn't think or don't currently think that they can do it either. And I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can. You absolutely can. You just have to surrender to God and give it all up to Him and do what He guides you to do, and you will be just fine. Just fine. And He will put it all back together. God will return what you lost. I promise you. It's going to be a wild ride. It's not easy. But everyone would be elevated to those statuses in a healthy way without the quick selling your soul to the devil come up, if they would do it too. But they don't want to do that. They would rather drag you down, hate on you, throw salt on your name, come at you every which way that they can to prove that you're a liar, and that the story that they put out there about you, that witch hunt that they started, is true. It's not false. That they are going to trip and they're gonna fall and they're gonna be down and they're gonna stay down and they're gonna be all these things that I said that they were, because I've done all these things behind the scenes to help make that a fact. But you cannot do that. You cannot do that. You can rise above. You can surrender it all to God. And with the things that I help you with, even just by telling you that I love you and you're never alone, and that God loves you at the end of it, every video, or wherever I say it in the video, that you can do it. Whatever it is that you're facing, you can do it. I promise you. I never thought that I could do it, but if I could do it, anyone can do it. And I have faith in God. And just, what do they say? The faith of the mustard seed. That's all you need to have. That's all you need to have to still be in the game. Just have faith and keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you will get there no matter what you're going through. And the money will come. If you are in your path and you are helping others, I want to encourage all of you to tell your story. Even if it was a squeaky clean story from the beginning, like the people that I used to compare my life to and say, why can't I have that? And why do they get to have that? Even those people, they'll have things, that they haven't shared, things that happen to them later after the squeaky clean image, some life trial has come along eventually, and they'll be able to share that. It doesn't matter if someone has gone through exactly the same thing as you. Just your confidence, your courage, your bravery, whatever wisdom and inspiration and cheerleading that you can offer, it will help others. Keep doing that. And in the meantime, if you happen to monetize whatever it is that you're doing, don't feel guilty about that. I know that Midlife Stockman, he did both jobs. A lot of people do both jobs, and I did jobs on top of doing I baked at first on my channel. I worked at a call center. I worked at a convenience store. Like, I have done things alongside of this. I didn't do this for monetary gain. I did it for other people. But if you do get monetarily compensated for that is God. That is God. That's not you being manipulative. If you have slow and steady growth, like, I don't think I would start being compensated off of my channel until maybe 500, but more so 1,000 before they can start like putting ads on there, which I don't really like the ads. I don't even know that I would keep the ads on there even after I got to 1,000. Sponsorships maybe with companies that are aligned with my purpose, like Midlife Stockman, he does Bombas. I watched his video today. It's Midlife Monday. I think he only had 2 ads in his over an hour long video, but he's sponsored by Bombas, which is huge. And then his Exmark mower, they donated him a free mower, which was better than the one that he had, which was a pretty expensive model. They donated a free one to his channel that he announced today. So that's another um, that is another blessing that came along with that sponsorship. But whereas Kevin, the boring channel and the lawn care juggernaut, he claims to be the OG at this, that he started those things, that he started doing the free lawn care, and that he was able to quit his job and his business to do it. And he didn't even do it to the level of Midlife Stockman. Midlife Stockman came along within the last year, maybe a little over a year, and he has already surpassed the number of subscribers that Kevin has had, being the OG that he claims to be. So the authenticity, the stewardship, the charity, it will all come. That is your blessing with God. If you step onto your path and you walk in your purpose and you start helping others, it will all come back to you. You won't have to pray for money. That is going to be just part of it, part of it that comes along. You won't have to worry about that. He's going to take care of everything that you need and much, much more for giving to others. You will get it all back. So don't let anybody tell you to be a tree, or that you can't grow vertically and wrap your arms around others, and that you can all grow up at the same time together, stronger, wiser together as a community with that compassion and grace for others. Like, and don't feel guilty about being monetized. That's not you being manipulative. That was you sharing with others and giving to others, and then God giving back to you. It was never your intention to be manipulative by sharing your wisdom and cheering others on. So that's where I want to set that gentleman straight. I'm not going to call him out by name. I don't even know the name of his channel, so I can't. I've never written it down. Honestly, I am trying to not sync up with it but it is giving me talking points in the meantime for new videos. So it's a blessing. That's a blessing. He's giving me material. He's giving me content. So, but it also made me want to talk about something that I heard in another video, which was the bystander effect. In psychology, I've studied things like this. There's a documentary on, I think it's Amazon Prime, called The Witness, about a lady named Kitty Genovese, which also brings into play the bystander effect. And I know that it's happened to me too, and I still love all of you guys. You were complicit in the way that you were complicit for whatever reason you were complicit. You have to answer for that. Vengeance is not mine, and I will never try to hate on you. We are all on our own path. We have to learn things at our own time in our own way. And if this is a lesson for you, which is a blessing because you learned something that you didn't know, and you could, alchemize it into a positive in the future or right now, whatever, that's up to you. If you have to get karma for it, that's up to you. That has nothing to do with me. Whatever you did it for why you needed to do it, and I don't hate on you. I still love you. It's all part of your journey. I've got my things, you've got your things. But the video that made me think about the documentary that I saw a long time ago was a girl saying that when she was in class in high school, that the teacher brought in a bowl with a goldfish on it, and he said, everybody sit down and nobody move. Don't nobody say anything. Don't nobody move. Don't nobody get up. Don't do anything. And if you do, you will fail the class. Immediately, automatic fail. And she said she made straight A's in high school, so it was like just not an option for her to do anything other than what he said. So she was planning on listening and doing just that, and she did. But she said that the teacher took the fish out of the bowl and placed it on the desk, and he walked out of the room, and everybody saw this fish flopping around, struggling, dying, needing something that was just inches away from him, but they were not allowed to move unless they wanted to fail. And she said it took a whole 2 minutes for someone to say, screw this, I'm putting the fish back in the bowl. I don't care if I fail or not. And she said the teacher came back into the room and said that nobody was failing, but this is what the world has turned into. And it is. It is. It is exactly what the world has turned into. And if everybody listened to this guy who's telling you to not help each other, or that makes you inadvertently manipulative because you might get a blessing for it, don't listen to that. Don't listen to the teacher that would tell you to let this fish die. Don't have the bystander effect happen on you just because someone might not have even gone through anything yet. They might not be the fish flopping in front of you, but you still want to help them before their time of need, so they can tuck that away and pull it back out and say, hey, I have this because I heard this person talking about it. Or me, like with the documentary, or me with the lawn care channels. Lawn care is not what I'm doing at all, but I see how they're helping other people, and I see how God is blessing them for it, and I see how the fakes, maybe I shouldn't say fakes, but the ones that don't have quite the work ethic in their heart isn't in it for exactly the same way. They are not being enriched by God, and it shows because their authenticity is not there. They're still in their ego. They're still trying to justify why what they're doing is just as good, or they just shouldn't have to do what the authentic person is doing to be at the same level or whatever, which they do. They do. It shows. Real recognizes real. Authenticity is one of the highest vibrations there is. So people are gonna love that. They're the real people out there that have those work ethics and that have been authentic and have helped others in that selfless way. They're gonna see that. It's gonna ooze out of midlife stockman Sean's pores. He's gonna get those monetary things for giving, for breaking his back when he didn't have to, for putting in whatever was required of him to fix those things and to take that trash away and to make someone's life easier. He said today, people actually behave better. Their life is better when the surroundings are clean and neat and everything is to where they can breathe. It doesn't bring on anxiety. And I know that firsthand from when I used to be in college. I would have tons of work to do. Papers, I took 21 hours one semester. I had so many classes at one time. I would never advise for anybody to do that, but I did that. So I would have tons of things to do, but I wouldn't be able to sit down and tackle all of that until my house was clean. I needed to make sure that my external was satisfied before I could work on my internal. And that is one thing that Sean is doing for these people and for the people in the community. When it's an abandoned house and it has, there's no one in it, he is satisfying their external needs so that they can be relieved of anxiety or stress or anything that looking at that mess might induce, or the people when it's not abandoned that have to live in the mess, that is relieved and they can worry about, or not worry, but they can work on other things that isn't part of that they can feel that that's free and that's satisfied, and then I can work on something within myself, or I can work on something else, even if it is external still that needs to be worked on, because that's one less thing. That's one less thing. So I think that the bystander thing it's very sad. I never want to be a bystander. That's why some people tell you if you need help and you're outside to yell fire, because if you yell help, people are less likely to help. But if you yell fire, they're going to call for help, or they're going to come try to help you. It's just like a mind game, something that we need to strongly work to eradicate. Yeah, I looked up little effects on this because the it's raining all of a sudden. Kitty Genevieve's case documentary. There were 38 witnesses and no one did a thing. I think it happened in New York, and there was all kinds of windows open and people looking out of their windows, and a guy came up to her on the street as she was walking and started stabbing her. So lots of people saw this. 38 people. When they started canvassing the area, the police found that they were witnesses to this and saw her get killed. She was stabbed many, many times. It wasn't like a hit and run, like someone just came up to her and did something to her and it was over in a few minutes. She was stabbed and followed by this guy for blocks and blocks and tortured with this knife. Sorry to be so graphic, but it was just insane to hear all of these people that saw this happening to her and how prolonged it was and how an agony and pain that she was in, and that 38 people admitted to seeing it and did nothing. And I think someone actually called the police and called for help, but that wasn't until after she had ducked inside of an apartment building where someone actually came out of their door into the hallway, and I think she actually went into that apartment, and that person couldn't ignore doing something for her, that it became their problem, so they had to call. And by then it was too late. She was a goner. So but that was a great documentary to describe that, in the video about the fish, about how people will stand by and see something awful happening to others and do nothing. Or how the video where the guy was telling you, to not do anything to help others, to just use everything that you have for yourself and just grow up, just to be a taller tree and be magnificent and tall and strong all on your own, and not try to help to bring others up, to not try to help others that are obviously in need, or to know about something that's horrible that's happening to them, but you're not standing up and doing the right thing. You're like, not my problem. What can I do? And so I looked up reasons, and I wrote down just a few about why people would do this. And multiple people present, it says, that less they feel a less personal responsibility to act if there's a lot of people there, that like, it's not my problem, there's all these other people that see it, but who am I to act if, and that if others aren't reacting, then it's okay for them to remain passive. So if all these other people are seeing it and they're not doing anything, then why should I do anything? And then also it said negative perceived consequences for their actions. So if they think that something bad is going to happen to them, like the people that didn't do anything about the fish for 2 minutes, that they thought they were going to fail the class, or the others, in these communities or in these groups that are obviously doing bad things to other people, even if they didn't know at first, when they find out that the facade is cracking, this person is not who the witch hunt people that started the witch hunt said that they were, they will, even after they know that everything that was done to them was not done for good reason. And secondly, even if it was a horrible person, even if they were the witch in the witch hunt that the people said that they were, vengeance is not theirs. It is not for them to do to other people. That God will take care of that. It is for him to do. You stay on your path. You work on you. You be better than the you that you were yesterday. You don't have to listen to gossip and slander and do anything to anybody. God will handle that. So if they have to go around to get other people to incite fear on someone that they say is somebody that's done something bad, then just them doing that to get someone to have negative things happen to them should tell you all in itself that it's maybe, just maybe, not what they say it is, because God will take care of that. That's what you should tell them. Somebody commented on my video the other day that said I should post my uncle's picture and put his name out there. And well, there's already a video, like a 3-minute video at least, of my uncle and his ex-girlfriend harassing me in his home. His picture's already out there. But I don't need to say his name. I think I've only said one person's name on my channel other than my name, and it was my cousin, who's a police officer, because he's not only, as a veteran, taken a constitutional oath to defend this country, but as a police officer, he's taken an oath to protect and serve our community, and he did neither for me. So yes, I did put his full name out there. I have no regrets about that. But my uncle, no, I don't feel the need to put his name out there, because vengeance is not mine. If God wants his name to come out, if God wants his picture everywhere, God will do that. I have walked away. I have surrendered it all. I have given it up to God. I don't need to do anything bad to my uncle or dox him or do anything like that. I have stepped away from it. I don't need to do that for anybody to go after him or to point fingers at him. I have walked away. Anything that God wants to happen to him will happen to him, and for right now, I wish him the best. I wish him the best. I hope that the things that he has gone through is a blessing in his life, in that the truth will set him free. Either my truth, his truth, someone else's truth, if they choose not to remain that bystander that's complicit, that's up to God. That's up to God. And hopefully he will be a better person after the truth comes out, after God sets things straight in whatever way that he will, whenever way that he will. It is not for me to choose what happens to him, when it happens to him. All I have control over is myself, and that's all I'm going to do is control myself. So I did not answer that person, and I won't be answering that person. Now, I'm putting it on here because it will be seen by more people than just me responding to that comment on whatever video it was. That I want to tell anybody that feels like asking in the future that I will not answer anything like that, because for one, you could figure it out. You could figure it out, especially if you're in Chattanooga. First of all, a bunch of people know already. And two, we're not that separated around here. And three, if it's outside of our area or people that don't know already, if God wants them to know, he will put it out there and he will make it public. So I don't need to do that. But don't be that bystander that does nothing. I would encourage you all to have a conscience, to pray about it, to let God lead you, and to act and let the truth set everyone free in whatever way it does, by you telling your story, whatever your story may be, whether it be of an innocent bystander, whether it be of a complicit bystander, whether it be someone who's just been through other things and they're not even a bystander. They just want to help people in whatever way that they can help people so that they can be on their path and in their purpose for God, because that's why we're here. We're all on a mission. I love you. God loves you. You're never alone. I'll talk to you later. Bye.